Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new segment called Math with Meera, where we're just going to be doing whatever math you need. So today we're going to talk about word problems. I know word problems can be so confusing because there's so many words and you have no idea how to turn them into math. I have problems with it too. So I'm going to show you some steps to follow for every word problem so you can turn it into math and get them right every time. So here are the steps you're going to want to follow for every word problem you ever do. First, read the whole problem. Even if it doesn't make sense the first time, just read it through so you know what it's about. Second, you're going to write down what you need to find. Usually this will be the last sentence of the word problem and it'll be a question asking you to find something. So you're going to write down what the problem asked you to do, what it wants you to find. Third, you're going to write down what they told you in the problem. So this is going to be any other number that they wrote down to help you find what you need to find. So this is how you're going to find what you need to find. So you have to write it down. Then you're going to figure out the connection. How can we use what the problem told us in step 3 to find what we don't know? Then we're going to solve. That's when we're going to have all our numbers put together in such a way that the only thing that's not a number is the thing we're trying to find. And then we can use all those other numbers to find what we don't know. And here are some tricks. If there's a problem with lots of numbers and they say something about buildings or a boat crossing a river or something, just random, that might be confusing to just read in words, and you can draw a picture if you want. Or most problems, sometimes if they don't need a picture, the thing you're going to want to do the most is just write an equation. And what an equation is just anything with numbers and an equal sign. Like 1 plus 1 equals 2 is an equation. Or if a problem has a picture, sometimes you can find an equation from a picture. You can use the picture to write numbers down and put them in an equation to solve. So that problem, you would do both. So those are just some tricks to help you. Now, how do we know what we're doing? How do we know what those numbers mean in the problem? If we see words like taller than, bigger than, larger than, extra, the sum of, this person gets, this person gains. Any word that means more than something means we're adding. So on the opposite end, if we get words like shorter than, smaller than, fewer than, there's a difference of, take away, lose. Any word that means less than something means we're subtracting. So that's how we know the difference. And if we see words like is, will be, should be, that means equals. So that's how we know where to put our equals sign. So let's do a problem together and we're going to follow all the steps. So here's our problem. Brad lives in a building that is 34 meters high. Joe lives in the building next door that is 22 meters taller. How tall is Joe's building? So step 1, we read the whole problem, and here's what we know. This problem is going to be about the height of two buildings, Brad's building and Joe's building. Height means how tall something is. That's just something to know for the future. So next, step 2, write down what you need to find. Here's our problem again. Let's look at our last sentence. How tall is Joe's building? So that's what we're finding. We're finding how tall Joe's building is in meters, because for the rest of the problem they said that the height of Brad's building is 34 meters tall, Joe's building is 22 meters taller, which means we're measuring this problem in meters. Next, step 3. Here's our problem again. We're going to write down what we know. What are the other numbers that they gave us in this problem to help us find how tall Joe's building is? So let's look. First word, Brad. We have another person that we're comparing to. Sure, we got a Brad. Next, they said Brad's building is 34 meters high. So we know that we have a number for Brad. Next, Joe lives in the building next door that is 22 meters taller than Brad's building. So now we have a comparison, 22 meters taller than Brad, and we have a number for Brad, so that's helpful. And now, how tall is Joe's building? So we know that Brad's building is 34 meters high, and Joe's building is 22 meters taller than Brad's. So now we're going to figure out the connection between what we're finding and what we have. So we have Brad's building is 34 meters high and Joe's building is 22 meters taller than Brad's building. And we're finding how tall Joe's building is. So we need to find something similar. Is there anything on the screen that talks about what Joe's building is? Yeah, look right there in our second sentence. Joe's building is 22 meters taller than Brad's building. So we can use that sentence to find out the actual number for how tall Joe's building is. So now we're going to turn this sentence into math. Watch how we do it. So we're going to look at the first couple words. Joe's building. That's what we don't know, so we're just going to leave it as Joe's building. Next word, is. If you remember from one of the other slides, we said is means equals. So we're going to write an equal sign instead of is. Perfect. Next, 22 meters taller than. So if you remember again from those other slides, taller than means more, right? If you're taller than your little sibling, that means that you have more height. Your height is bigger. You have more tallness, which is height. So that means we're adding 22 meters because taller than means more. So we're going to add 22. And what are we adding 22 to? 22 meters taller than Brad's building. So we're adding 22 to Brad's building. And if we remember, Brad's building was 34 meters high. So we're adding 22 to 34. And now we have our equation. Joe's building is 34 meters plus 22 meters. So now that we have our numbers and our math, we can solve. So 34 plus 22 is 56. So our final answer is that Joe's building is 56 meters tall. And we just solved the problem. We turned the words into math. Do you see how we did that? I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, you can always scroll back to any other point in the video and relearn it if it didn't make sense. So now these two problems are kind of similar to the Brad and Joe problem. So I'm going to give you a chance to do them on your own to make sure that you aren't just listening to me, you actually know how to do it. So I'm going to stop talking for a couple seconds so you can pause the video, do the problems on your own, and then you can press play again and I'll tell you the answers. So pause. Okay, you pressed play again. We're back. Let's do the answers. So for the first problem, if you got 25 plus 16, which is 41, so Jefferson High School is 41 meters tall, you are correct. Great job. And for the next one, if you got 19 meters plus 6 meters, means that Billy's neighbor's fence is 25 meters long, you are also correct. Great job. And if you didn't get those numbers, don't worry about it. You can go back to any other point in the video where we were talking about the Brad and Joe problem and try to figure out what you might have done on this problem. So now we're going to do another problem that instead of just adding one thing to another thing, we're going to add a lot of things together. So this is going to make sure that we don't freak out and miss numbers. So we're going to practice this together. So let's do the first step, read the problem. Marissa is performing her floor routine for the competition. She starts off with a set of triple cartwheels. She does them almost perfectly. She earns 2 points for each cartwheel, but gets 1 point taken away for an extra step on the landing. How many points did she earn? Okay, we read the problem. Now we're going to do step 2. We're going to find what we don't know so we can write down what we're finding. Let's look. Oh, last sentence again. How many points did she earn? So we are finding how many points Marissa earned. So we're going to write a neat little We're going to write a neat little sentence saying Marissa earned blank points, because then the number we find is going to fill that blank in, and then we're going to have our answer. So now we're going to do the third step, which is we're going to go back in the problem and find out what they told us, what other numbers they gave us. So Marissa is performing her floor routine for the competition. No numbers, not helpful. She starts off with a set of triple cartwheels. Now that's important. See, because they told us numbers, but they said the numbers in words. So she starts off with a set. A just means one. So we have one set, and a set means a group. So we've got one group. And of triple cartwheels. Triple means 3. So look here. We've got our one set or one group, and triple means 3. So that means Marissa is doing 3 cartwheels because we have one group of 3 cartwheels. There's 3 cartwheels in that group. And since she's only doing one group, she's only doing 3 cartwheels. Does that make sense? Okay. If it doesn't, play it again. Try to really think about it. Triple means 3, and if we have one set of 3, we just have 3. Now, if we had 2 sets of 3 cartwheels, that would mean that we'd have 3 cartwheels plus another 3 cartwheels for the second set. So we'd be adding 3 2 times to get 6. But we're only adding 3 one time because we only have one set. So it's just 3 cartwheels. Next sentence. She does them almost perfectly. That doesn't really tell us any numbers, so I don't think it's that important. Next. She earns 2 points for each cartwheel. Oh, that's important. So earns means gets, which means adds to. So we're adding 2 points for each cartwheel. Let's write that down. Instructions for later. Add 2 points for each cartwheel. Next. But gets 1 point taken away for an extra step on the landing. So this doesn't say for each cartwheel. So we're just taking 1 point away. So we're subtracting, because take away means to lose. They're taking away that point from Marissa. Marissa is losing the point. So we're subtracting 1 point. How many points did she earn? Okay, so that's everything that we know. We know that Marissa is doing 3 cartwheels. We know she gets or adds 2 points for each cartwheel. And then we know she messes up, so we have to subtract 1 point at the end. So let's follow our little instructions that we made. Add 2 points for each cartwheel. Well, how many cartwheels are we doing? 3. So we're going to add 2 3 times because she got 2 points for the first cartwheel, 2 points for the second cartwheel, and 2 points for the third cartwheel. So we're going to add 2 3 times. So we do 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 2 is 6. So overall, she gets 6 points for those cartwheels. But we're not done yet, because even though she got 6 points for those cartwheels, she messed up. Remember, our instructions tell us to subtract 1 point. So we're going to take our 6, subtract 1 for that mistake, and we're going to get 5. 5 points, because we had to subtract that 1 point at the end. So overall, Marissa earned 5 points for her cartwheels. I hope that made sense. I know that was a lot of steps, so feel free to go back in the video if you didn't understand anything. And yeah, so that's how we're going to do word problems. You just read it, find what we don't know and what we do know. And then we use what we do know to find what we don't know. I know I only really did addition and subtraction in this video, So if you want videos on multiplication and division, please let me know. And I really hope this helped. I know word problems are so confusing, but just calm down. They told you everything you need to know, so it's nothing to stress over. So I hope this helped, and keep watching our videos for your help with school. And again, if you want me to do multiplication and division problems, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!